What is going on, ladies? This is Marcia here with another episode of the Lady Strong Fit Cast. And today I have a very special guest, LSF Member of the Month, Suzanne. Her and I, we're going to be talking about fitness, faith, and fear.
So the big question is this: how were two women who didn't cheat and purchase a gym franchise model, how were they able to spread their mission and purpose by empowering and transforming hundreds of women's lives through fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability with a micro gym business model of women only? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. We are Lady Strong Fitness.
Suzanne, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good. By the way, I failed to mention this woman has lost a total of 55 pounds in a matter of how many months?
18 months.
18 months. That's insane. So Suzanne is actually coming off of our newest program, our 12-week lifestyle transformation program. And within that program, you've lost about 15 to 17 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, overall, since joining, it's been 55 pounds. That's crazy. So the reason why, before I begin to talk about why we entitled the episode The 3 F's, let's talk about you. I know who you are, but for our ladies that's tuning in today, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Suzanne. I go to the 5 a.m. class, and I work out with a group of ladies who inspire me every day. And I have 3 girls and
Working mom.
Yes. And very busy.
Yeah.
Very busy life.
Why did you decide to join Lady Strong Fitness?
It was a combination. I was having some health issues and my previous gym closed and I wanted to start getting results.
What type of health issues were you having?
I ended up hurting my Achilles heel. I ended up tearing it. And from that, I was in a boot and then I ended up getting a blood clot in my lung from not having activity. And that kind of threw me for a loop. So I had to kind of get back on the fitness
wagon. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. I want to talk and put a lot of emphasis on this 12-week program. It's a new program. We just launched it. You were one of our beta test women. And by the way, thank you for believing in the program. It's a true testament that not only does the program work, but she's a living proof of like how you can receive astonishing results in such a short time. It's crazy because not only did she finish the program, but she's like, I love it so much, I'm going to do it again. So that says a lot. Number one, let's talk about the whole fear. Okay. We're going to go through each F, fear. What were some of the things you feared coming into Lady Strong Fitness? And then do you still fear anything now?
I think my biggest fear was just not being able to do it, like pull-ups. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then, just kind of like getting on the bars to do my first pull-up was amazing, right? But just kind of talking yourself out of it right even before you start it was, I think, the biggest challenge, really.
That's so true. And how did you talk yourself out of it? No, let's rephrase that. Did you talk yourself out of it? And how did you talk yourself back into it is a question.
I don't think you let me talk myself out of it.
Yes.
I got on the bar and I said, I can't do this. And you're like, you can't do it.
I love it. Okay, so that is a fear from a fitness perspective. We're going to get vulnerable here. And for those that are listening in today, what you don't know is prior to even joining the 12-week program, we actually, we screen test our women to make sure they're a perfect fit for the program. And one of the things that you really feared before starting this program, you're like, I don't know if I could do it because my mother is sick. So let's talk about that, because I know a lot of people have other outside things that are going on that, kind of talks themselves out of doing it, which you almost did.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that. Let's get a little bit vulnerable for a little bit.
Well, I think, as a mom, which most of us are, you have time issues, right? There's always time conflicts that you have to kind of balance with you, your husband, your family.
Yep.
And then when you have somebody sick in the family, it just kind of adds that level of, I don't have time for my...
With you and your family, your mother, do you want to kind of elaborate a little bit on that?
So my mom at the beginning of the program was sick. She got diagnosed with cancer, and
It's okay. It's all right.
From a time perspective, we all struggle with, trying to get enough time for ourselves in it. And just having somebody sick in your family and having to take care of them on top of everything else that you're doing, you don't really feel like you can carve out any time.
Yeah. I applaud you because given that scenario, you still said, I'm going to make time for myself. And since then, unfortunately, your mother is no longer with us today. And I'm so sorry to hear that, and I want to get really vulnerable because during that time, you were facing hardship. You were on a really good pace of losing weight. And the week leading up to your mother's death, you kind of took some steps back, but you didn't let that stop you. And people really need to hear this because a lot of people use it as a crutch, like why me? And they just can't get out of it. But you did the complete opposite. So let's talk about that. What was it that after, your mom left, you put on the weight, what happened? Did you just decide to give up? I know, but let them know, from a mindset perspective.
Well, when everybody kind of circles around you, like when something bad happens, and for me, the way that my friends and family showed me that they cared was they brought a lot of food over to the house, right? So we were eating a lot of good food for like 2 weeks straight. And I think, you just kind of, something has to drop, right? Mm-hmm. And you say, okay, I'm gonna focus on just where I'm at, mm-hmm. and having everybody just kind of care for me in this time. And maybe you don't make I didn't make the right food choices at that time, but where I was, that wasn't a priority for that week, or I'll say 2 weeks. Yeah. But, after I kind of weighed in and Marcia said, okay, let's kind of get you back on track. Ladies Strong gives you the ability and the lessons and the knowledge that you know what you need to do. So my email back to her, my slap back to her was, I already know what I need to do. I just got to get back on. Yep. So it doesn't really matter where you are in your journey. What Lady Strong provides you is the knowledge that you need to do that when you get off the train. You got to get back on when you're ready to do it.
100%. You couldn't have said that any better. And that leads me to talking about faith, because going through something like that hardship, how did faith play a role in it, from not only, Lady Strong, but your personal lifestyle? Explain a little bit about that. Regardless if, you guys believe in Buddha or whatever it is, but can you explain to us, how did that play such an integral role based upon where you were at?
Yeah, I think, sometimes as parents, as moms, right, or own business owners, you try to be in control of everything, mm-hmm. and you realize that life is going to throw curveballs at you. Yeah. And you're just going to have to figure out how to get through it, and just kind of give your, self to whoever you believe in and say, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be feeling. Yeah. And then you just sometimes have to give yourself up for that moment. Yeah. Yeah. I believe. And believe. Yeah, believe.
I'll be honest with you, Suzanne. I look up to you because I could put myself in your shoes. Granted, my mother is still around, but I lost someone who was also an integral role in my life, which was my grandmother. And it was really hard. And I remember, I'm actually going to play it in this video here. We've heard it before, and I'll say it again. No excuses. I hate excuses. I hate them. I'll share with you guys some things. And 2018 was probably one of the worst years of my life. I ruptured my Achilles tendon. I lost my grandmother. I lost my aunt. I had so many deaths in the family. So instead of not working on my lower body, I worked on my upper body. Instead of turning to food as a stress relief, I still ate clean. I still got up. I still maintained my habits. I didn't put on any weight. So you have to get rid of the excuses, okay? When I had the pep talk with you guys, and I actually stated that, in 2018 was the hardest, for me, because I lost my grandmother, I lost my aunt, and I also ruptured my Achilles tendon. And just like you, we didn't give up. And I feel like we have so much in common. And I applaud you for that, because a lot of people would have given up. And Suzanne, you I think it was, you put on 3 pounds during that time. And like you said, you're like, I know what I need to do. And you did it. And I'm so thankful that you just did not get stuck in that moment. You did not get stuck. And that says so much about just who you are in general. And again, you're just inspiring. You're inspiring. So I appreciate you for that. Moving on. So we talked about faith. Let's talk about, fitness. We talked about fear and faith. Let's talk about fitness. How do you feel overall now over the last 12 weeks?
Definitely tighter. I feel stronger. And I think a lot of it is mindset, you know, so I know the way it's coming off, and I know that I feel stronger, and I feel like I look better, you know, so I think that the fitness part is actually just as important as the food part.
100%.
You know? But so is the sleep. So the sleep part, it's like, you know, you have to make sure that you're holistic in your approach.
Yeah.
You know, when you
you can't do one without the other. You have to plug in the nutrition and the sleep and then the water. It's so much, and for some people it can be so overwhelming.
Yes.
It's a lot to take in, but let's talk about the next 12 weeks and what that looks like for you, because I'm really excited for you. You got some really special things that are coming up in the works as far as vacations. Share your goals and what that looks like for you.
Yeah, so ultimately, and I know that again, I'm going to have some hurdles with going into this next 12 weeks. I have vacation plans. The girls are off for summer break, so you're going to want to have a little bit more fun. And I think part of it is you have to look in advance of what that's going to look like from a food perspective and carve out, you know, either you're using the app and you're carving out what you're going to eat, or you're kind of making time to, if you're not going to be in the club, you know, you're going to have to find time to exercise in a different way. But I don't think the answer is not doing any of that
100%,
stuff.
yeah.
It's fitting it into your lifestyle, because it becomes a different lifestyle. So I want to lose just as much weight in the next 12 weeks as I did this week. And, you know, again, if there's a point in time where in the 12 weeks I get off the train, I have the knowledge and the skills to know what I have to do to get back on it.
I like that. So I like to end each episode with this. Do you have any advice for anybody that's listening in today, regardless if it's a member or non-member? What would that advice be?
Don't give up. No negative talk. Positively talk to yourself, and you can do it. I mean, even start small and then just kind of proceed, and you'll get there. You know, it's kind of baby steps. You have to walk in the gym first.
Yeah. You gotta, how's the saying go? You gotta crawl before you walk.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I think that was really good advice. Ladies, thank you so much for tuning in on another episode. Suzanne, thank you for being on the show today. I really appreciate it. With that being said, ladies, we'll catch you on the next episode of The Lady Strong Big Head. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or whatever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts. And if you really liked this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.